That's right, the new, well, second-hand motor that we put in this GQ only 2 or 3 months ago. It's a piece of crap. It's already stuffed. So in this episode we are pulling this one back out, and then over on the shed floor there is a brand new crate motor from Nissan. Brand new TD42 that's going in. Make sure to stick around as things do not go as we hoped when we chuck this new motor in. Nothing, don't want it.
It should be done.
Proudly supported by Ultimate 9, Tread, Opus Campers, Superior Engineering, and Impart by. If you saw last time we did this engine swap, we did it in my dad's garage, which was small, absolutely filthy, cracked concrete, not much room at all. So this engine I got it from the local Nissan dealer. As I said, brand new crate motor. They dropped it off here at G-Works, and then we very nicely asked if we could do the engine swap here because they got more space. We're starting out the front here, but then we'll back into the shed there a bit later. G-Works are a tray and canopy manufacturer in Port Macquarie. They're the ones who built the tray for the nav. Todd's here helping do it today, and then I think Birdo's going to come over tomorrow and help us finish it off.
Yeah, I'm just taking the dump pipe off. Usually when you drop the coolant out, it fills the dump pipe up with water. So I'll just take this section off and get it out of the way, so we don't make too much of a mess. At G-Works here. So I usually go around, undo all your bellows and bolts first, and then do your coolant so you're not under here getting wet doing your bellows and bolts. It usually drips down the rag.
While Todd's pulling this engine apart, I'll run through this whole devastating story of what happened with these engines. So it was about 3 or 4 months ago now. We had the 700,000 kilometre silver top TD42 in this GQ, which is the one that it came with.
Should have kept it.
Yeah, should have just left it. It had a few issues. It was burning a fair bit of oil. It had issues in the head where the injector threads were stuffed. The injectors kept coming loose. It ran like really rough. Had a rough idle, real bad start on cold mornings, which is just kind of an old TD42 thing. It's not really a huge deal, but we came across this motor which we thought was good, got a good deal on this factory turbo TD42, and we pulled it apart somewhat. We didn't strip the whole thing down, but we compression tested it. We looked inside the head, like everything looked beautiful with it, came out all nice. That was the one that we recently chucked in this car, and there was probably only a week or 2 of running it in and the issues started to arise. The blow-by came around very quickly, so it has a lot of blow-by, and it burns probably nearly double the oil of the other engine. So I think in that Lithgow trip I recently did with the camper, which was a week, I did maybe 6 or 7 litres of oil on that trip, about 1,000 Ks. So it's just not happy at all, and you'd see on the videos, like everywhere you drive, it's just a cloud of blue smoke behind it. So it's not really a good look. And yeah, the engine's not happy. It's got this very bad knock too, which we don't know what that is, whether or not that's linked. It was devastating news when I worked out that this motor was not happy either, because I thought we'd put this good motor in. So I was like, what am I going to do now? Because I want this car to be reliable for big trips. Like, we were meant to do Cape York, which we had to cancel. We've now planned a Simpson Desert trip in a few weeks. That's why we're getting this motor in, so that's going to be coming up. So that's going to be the run-in test for this new crate motor out the Simpson Desert across Australia, about 10,000 kilometres. So we tossed around the idea of rebuilding this one, but doing a strong rebuild with like a billet crank, upgrade pistons, head studs, all that stuff is like 14 grand. I got quoted around that. Or just a standard rebuild is like 7 or 8 grand from an engine rebuilder locally. But then you've got a rebuild motor, which is, some people rate them, some people don't. Some people have had real bad luck with them, blow up again real quick once they're rebuilt. And then the car would be off the road for a while because you have to pull the engine out, a few months getting it rebuilt, and then get it back in. But Nissan still do make brand new motors for these things. TD42T, they're the factory turbo crate, like factory turbo motor. They sell them as a crate motor, brand new motor. Still made in, do you know where they make them? Japan?
TD land.
TD land, wherever that is. When all this was happening, Matt, a guy who follows me, who lives locally as well, so he'll be probably watching this, he'll know who he is. He sent me a link, he said, hey, I just saw this pop up at the local Nissan dealer, TD42 brand new. Do you know of anyone that needs one? Because they got one in stock. Because they can be a bit hard to come by. They're not really readily available. And I was like, this was in the days I was trying to work out a plan. I was like, yes, I need one. So I pretty much that day jumped on it. So I got it Berto got it for me a little bit cheaper, a bit of a trade price, which was good. They normally go for about 16, 17 grand. I got it for 14.4. And then we'll have this one as a spare one to get, you know, parts from if needed, and we're probably going to strip this down, rebuild it. Now I'm laughing about it now because it's a couple months on and I've already paid for the motor and had to cry about all that money going missing. But yeah, at the time I was very upset because we spent a decent amount of money and a lot of time organising, putting all that engine in, and then they're just an absolute piece of garbage. Now we can hopefully move on for this problem forever and have a TD in here which will outlast the car, I'm sure, at this point. I suppose the only other thing to answer is why another TD42? Why not, you know, surely you've had 2 bad TDs now, you try something different. The thing is, if you do an engine swap, then it becomes like an even more expensive and huger ordeal. You know, you're talking new looms, new mounts, gearbox adapters, like a whole massive job that's going to go. That engine cost me 14.4. You do like an engine conversion, you know, you're talking more up the 30 grand mark. And these TDs are a good bush motor, and you know, once you get a working one, which I haven't had so far, a brand new one will be a working one, and I reckon I'll be pretty happy with it after that. If the new one blows up on me though, then that's it, TD life's done. Never getting another TD again. The motor's all undone now, it's ready to come out. We're just waiting for the boys to finish up here in about 20 minutes, and then the forklift will be free to use so we can lift this whole thing out. So Todd's just going to keep unbolting a few things while we're waiting. You can see on this motor here, like everything that's coming off, like behind the water pump, inside the head there, everything just looks brand new, would you say? Yeah. It all looks immaculate, and you know, these are all the signs that we thought this engine was going to be really good. But yeah, it seems the coolant side of it's all beautiful, but obviously the oil side, there's things going on there. Because we recently swapped this motor in, I didn't need to get a huge amount for it, like thermostat, water pump, injectors, all pretty fresh. And because it's a factory spec motor, everything will be direct bolt over to the factory spec brand new Nissan motor we got. The only things I did have to get though, which Todd's just having a look now, I ordered them from Patrol Apart there during the week. It's about $500 worth of
seal we don't need, but they're all your thermostat housing to block, fuel pump, thermostat housing gasket.
I think there's injector washers in that one.
Injector washers, that's your front alternator, idler, tacho sensor, thermostat housing to head, oil cooler.
So it's just because everything's getting unbolted. Like for example, we have to pull the oil cooler off this motor and put it on the new one, so when you unbolt and rebolt, you want a new gasket so it seals properly.
Oh yeah, water pump, and that's our oil cooler. Intake manifold. Happy days.
Here it is, out of the box, brand new TD42T crate motor. So if there's anything wrong with this motor, we've got some big problems. Brand new motor, obviously just a block, so we're going to have to strip everything off our block and bolt on in regards to fuel pump, turbo, intakes, outtakes, all that sort of stuff really. Doesn't come with injectors, so injectors will have to come out of the other motor too. We've got injector washers. Doesn't come with a water pump, so that'll come off ours. All those little bits and pieces. I was just saying, if this one goes in, it's no good, then we've got a big problem. So set the new motor there on a temporary setup. Now we can lift the old motor out and put it on that pallet setup it came on, which is like a nice little slot for it, and then from there I can transport that home. So once that engine's on that, we can move that into there. We got a forklift lifting a forklift motor out to put another forklift motor in, using a forklift.
Helping the brother out.
Just got to support the gearbox with a jack there. We've only got a bottle jack, but hold that gearbox up as we disconnect the block off it. That's it. That's out. Time to bolt everything over. Tell you what, I'm bloody excited to get this new motor in. How's the clutch look? We're just having a look at the clutch because obviously it's very easy to replace here now while we're going. We should be able to get one locally. They're not too expensive. It's only done about 25,000-30,000 kilometers, but if it's got any wear on it, we're probably better off just replacing it. So what are you looking for? Heat marks and stuff on it?
Yeah, there's like a few heat marks here, like just starting to occur. Personally, if it was me, I'd put one in. Like you're doing a bit of towing and that, you're going out west. Like,
might be just worth doing.
Peace of mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I can see if I can get one. The clutch wasn't too bad, but it did have a bit of wear, a few heat marks. This car's prepping at the moment for a 10,000 kilometer trip through Australia towing, so it's not really worth the risk. While we got everything apart, so there was a bit of last minute rush there to get things organised. I just raced down and dropped the flywheel off to the engineering shop, because like 2:30 on a Friday, they close at 3:30, so good blokes. They're going to machine that for me right now. I'm going back about half hour to grab that. And now I've rang Repco. They have a clutch, just going to replace it with the same one that's in there, 795 Newton meter rated one. We've dropped my old block on that pallet there the Nissan gave us, so that works out nice because that's set up for a TD, and then we can move it on that thing. And yeah, I think Todd's started getting a few things off, and we'll keep going with bolting everything over there. Rose gold rocker cover's finally gonna be gone. Yeah, well, we could swap it, but I don't know. Don't know if I want to go mucking around a bit either.
It could be bad doo-doo.
Yeah, maybe that's
what it is.
Maybe that's the reason these two motors have gone wrong. They didn't like the rocker cover.
I'm telling you something.
Yeah. I don't think I've said yet, today's actually my birthday, so I considered this my birthday present to myself. A brand new TD42 engine.
Happy birthday to you.
Pretty good birthday present, I reckon.
Hanging out with me all day.
I spoiled myself with a new motor this year. Todd's just timing the fuel pump at the moment, lining up your Z. So then the other gear will have the Z on it, and you'll line that up in there, won't you?
Correcto.
I'm a TD Pro. Interesting point too, on this block we were looking before, because there's your block number. Doesn't matter if people know my block number. It has a B on the end there, so TD42B. This one that we pulled off, which is a factory turbo motor, has TD42T on the end. So we thought, that's weird. Why does obviously it makes sense that factory turbo motor has a T on the end, but why does the new motor have a B on the end? What's that mean? So I messaged Tim about it, and he said the T on the end does signify turbo motor, but they stopped writing that when, like, in the last run that actually went into the cars. So these crate motors that just get sent as an engine, not a car, have a B on them. So the B signifies crate motor. We're going to pack up for the day now. It's coming up 5 o'clock and we're starting to lose light. So we're packing up tools. We're going to push this car in the shed, lift both those engines in the shed, get the forklift in, close up, and then we'll come back in tomorrow morning, and we should be able to, you're confident what we get it in tomorrow and get it all running and sorted?
Yeah.
For sure. Back again the next morning, continue stripping off this block and putting it over to that one. Flywheel and clutch installed. That's injectors, glow plugs. What else is that? Spill rail, a couple bits and pieces on there, all in the new motor. Now we've got to get that oil cooler over before we put all the injector lines and everything on, otherwise just be all in the way.
That's nice, eh?
Clean as a whistle, my friend.
That's what I mean. We had like the whole front of this, and it's brand new.
So like everything we pull apart on this motor is just really nice.
I literally.
Yeah,
I reckon
the motor's
it's just carboned up, and it's
just carboned up from sitting for a long time.
yeah.
And then it's just like done in the rings and stuff. Berto was saying these oil coolers are what, $2,000 from Nissan? Probably why they don't come on the block, because it's too much money, so you have to pull the oil cooler off the other block or buy one, which is a couple of grand. We're just going to make everything fresh while we're going. So I've got a new air filter to go in and a new fuel filter. And first use of my new tool for my birthday yesterday. Demi got me
It's not bad.
electric ratchet.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Surely Makita sponsorship, I reckon. I've already bought half their toolkit.
King Chrome. King Chrome. This will do for now, but King Chrome.
Yeah.
Alright?
Not too bad, but definitely
bad.
dust. Is that bad, is it?
That's pretty bad.
Never mind, it is bad.
It's bad enough, trust me.
New fuel filter and air filter in. Thermostat housings on the motor there, which doesn't come with the crate motor. I was thinking too at the 4-wheel drive show, everyone wanted to see
My car, bro.
your car. Here it is.
No,
You're gonna do a rig rundown on it.
Oh, you want a rig rundown?
This is Berto's green machine. It's one of those don't judge a book by its cover things.
It's very dirty at the moment.
A custom made bar by Berto.
Yeah, little fabricated bar, mate. You
Nice
got
new grill.
Nice grill, nice headlights.
Yeah.
Tech for tourists, mate. Not sponsored, not sponsored.
And then this is where all the magic happens.
Yeah. We got a TD42 with a billet crank, head studs and rods and a big turbo, nice airbox.
What is it? 23L turbo.
23L, yeah, the big one.
Custom piping.
Yeah, custom piping.
Your what was your max figures on your recent tune?
270 horsepower, 750 newton meters.
Yeah, right. You got scared because you just blew this one up and it's a rebuilt freshie, so you
Yeah,
turned it down.
them turbos are efficient to 35 pound. I made 270 on 32 pound, and
Yeah,
I
right.
still had two shims in the pump, so probably would have made 300.
So that's a quick rundown. That's the most exciting part, the engine bay.
Yeah, unless you want to look at my knot at this shock here.
Should see the
Box shocks, mate.
glove box, eh?
Fox shocks in
Box
there.
shocks. It's a bit of a mess. I don't know about it.
Got some XR6 seats.
XR6 seats, seeing over mats, can't go wrong. This is an R31 Skyline steering wheel,
Yeah,
a
right.
silhouette one. It's got chrome trim.
Little rig rundown.
We could do a proper one one day. I'll clean it.
So this motor, Todd, it's all built now and we're ready to put it on the forklift and take it over and into the new forklift.
That's right. So what it's going to do, see that motor you're just checking out? It's probably half the power of this. It's gonna
Yeah,
be, you know.
I agree.
Go grab the fork, eh?
Instincts going no, looking bad like a bat with an eye patch. All black through the woods with a backpack and a lit match. Spark one time, get the whole city looking like a dark set of orange when I burn it down. What it is, what it do, whole clicking.
Hold the neck up and lift this box up and we'll sure in. Just wait there, mate.
Are you going to jump that down?
No, it's okay.
I can do it.
Get it. Yeah, now it's come forward again.
Got the engine connected onto the
Right,
gearbox.
down.
What do you reckon, mate? Brand new crate motor.
This is heaps better than the shed floor. I can get used to this, mate.
Yeah, it's all on in.
Todd's just getting all the gearbox bolts through the bell housing, and that'll be all connected up down there, and then we start bolting the engine mount so it's mounted and re-bolt everything on. and then it will be ready to go. Getting keen. So what are we going to do? A little test run starter up here, just crank some oil pressure up. We all confident there's plenty of oil in there?
He's checking it.
Yeah, just give it a slow one and see what it does. Fill those filters up.
So we got things hooked up and we're just going to not start it but crank it up and get some oil pressure happening.
Clear. Oil like that? I've got my Parker one there I can plug into it.
Do you want to explain what's happening, Moto?
Well, it's not starting because there's heaps of air in the thing, but what we're doing is trying to get oil pressure, so the light should go out, but the light's not going out, and the gauge ain't going out. So he's got a mechanical gauge that you plug in, and we're gonna put that in and then crank it.
This is just to be 110-20% safe that it's got good oil pressure before we run the motor.
Yeah. Well, you can run a motor for about 30 seconds and we're not going to do all, as long as it's got oil residue in everything. But it's not ideal.
There's no pistons in it, bro. Nothing. Yeah, I got pressure now. Correct.
Sweet.
I did. 3 of them. Yes.
So now we're just trying to get the air out.
Yeah, fuel up.
There's oil pressure. That hit 28.
Yeah, that's good for cranking.
That's great.
Mate, I was getting worried there. I was like, we're going to start this soon with no oil pressure.
Don't want it. I'll just double check that for this one.
So it should kick in now, like everything's set up for it to fire.
It should be starting. Unless it's just air lock or something.
Off. Sweet. Crank it. Turn the ignition on. I can hear it clicking, eh?
I had this happen the other day at work. I just had to crank it like that.
Let's try that. It chuffed.
There,
We just keep going. It's
there's a
gonna
bit
go.
of a fire there. Got it all turned out good.
You want to give it another?
Okay.
Oh, she sounds nice. So it runs.
Runs.
That's it. Sounds really
It
smooth.
does sound.
Weird thing about a brand new motor is they sound really good.
It's getting really good. Right, I'll see you later, eh?
Yeah, I'm out of here. I'm over the limit to do work, so.
Hey?
So I've had half a drink. I'm over the limit to have work done.
I put the fan on the radiator, dude. It won't fit down the
Ah,
hole.
surely it does.
It doesn't, because it's a step out modifier. Just like hold it. Just like
It works, bro.
No, it doesn't.
Did it last
I
time,
did
you
not, you're
cocksucker?
fibbing. Oh.
Come
Boy,
on.
Arnold, good over there.
Come on, man. Do some work. You've been bludgeoning all day. Wait up, don't come back
I'm
up.
stopping.
Come back up. Go on, bro.
Oh, just give it here.
I can't get the hole, Daddy.
There we go. Look at that.
Daddy, you've done that before. I was just like...
Now, where are those 4 nuts? Here we go.
You got any spare nuts, style?
That is it. Brand new Nissan TD42T crate motor in the GQ. This thing better bloody be good, or that's it. TD life is done for. But it's the next day, or a couple of days later. So it's been all running smooth at the moment. We've given everything a good check over, so the next week or two is just going to be running it in. What's your advice, Nick, for running in a new motor? Like, what's the things they say?
Load it up.
Yeah.
Don't idle.
That's the general outline. I'm going to take it for some hill driving as well. I think you meant to try and get the EGTs a bit heated up and that bed the rings in properly and stuff. Is that what they say?
Yeah.
And yeah, it should be good. Hopefully we're in for a long, happy, healthy life. The other thing too, I was going to say, this car's getting nicer and nicer to drive. We've got new engine and we got some new seats in it. These seats are all very nice for a GQ and they're super comfy as well. These are XR Falcon seats that have been reupholstered and all tidied up and cleaned up. I got the Hurricane adapters, the bolt-on kit, so that they can bolt in. And then a little mention to the guy who did these for me. So I took him the seats and then he does them all up for you. It was Zach on Instagram. I'll pop his thing up because he did an absolutely amazing job of these. I'll run it in for the next week or two and then we'll just do a check back in to see how it's all going. And I got to put some new coils and rear core tail brace kit in the rear, so I might film a few shots of that here at the end of this video and explain what's going on there. We're doing a big 5 to 6 week trip through Central Australia soon, so these are going to make that drive a whole lot better. A couple of days later, and we're into this GQ again, doing that core tail brace and the new coils today. This is the core tail brace kit from Superior there. So there's some parts there and there's a few parts laid over the ground. The Patrols are known for bending and cracking your rear coil towers, like where the coil mounts onto up the top there. So it is a common thing to brace them. I haven't braced mine yet. Luckily, I've got away with it so far, but I reckon it's only a matter of time and I will end up busting and breaking them. And this kit from Superior, so it'll sit on top of your coil tower that bit, and then you've got an arm that goes backwards and an arm that goes forward to sort of cross brace it and support the whole thing in there. That way it'll just be super beefy and strong. Todd's just in there now pulling things out of the way and then be able to start getting it in. I remember when we did in the GU, it was a little bit of a painful job. Takes a few hours, but shouldn't be too bad. And then these are the new coils I've got to try as well. This is going to be the 4th set of coils in this car. It's been an ongoing mission to try and deal with all the flex it has. So you can't put like standard coils in, otherwise they just unseat themselves way too early. There's just way too much room there. Like even with dropout cones and that, they still just pop out. So you can't do normal like heavy cones. So you need heavy coils, so you need flexi coils. And Dobinson do actually do rated flexi coils. These are the ones that came out. They were 3-inch 300 kilo, or Dobinson said they're the same as 4-inch 0. Now these ones, which are actually a bit bigger than I thought they would be, but we'll see how they go. So they're a 4-inch 400 kilo one. You would have seen in some recent episodes, just when I'm towing and that, it just sits down way too low. Even when I'm just loaded up for a big trip, it just sits on its ass. It did that in the Tassie episodes and that. So I'd say if these ones are going to sit slightly up unloaded, but then loaded, they should handle it all much better, because we're about to take off on this Simpson Desert trip in a couple of weeks now and I'll be towing. That's why we're getting this brace in and the new coils, so it should be all set up good, ready to go for that trip. So that's all the factory coil tower there, and you can see the gold stuff's the Superior one that's going on there to brace it up above for extra strength. Then you're going to have your 2 arms coming on.
What this little guy does, he pulls the top of the hat down if they are a little bit bent, so you can squeeze it down. It evens out the weight between the coil and the top. Triangulated braces, so this is running down on an angle to stop it lifting up. Yeah, it's like everything triangulated, like a triangulated 4-link. That's why they're triangulated, so the diff doesn't shift.
Tyres back on now. We just quickly changed those rear brakes as well, so it's all ready for our trip. Fresh brake pads on. There's the old pads. That one was well and truly used. That's the back all done now. Fresh brakes, that core tail brace kit and the new coils. It does sit a little bit higher in the back now, but once it settles, I reckon it'll sit about even, maybe just over, and that's with nothing on it as well. Once I put some weight on it when we're going away or when I'm towing, it'll sit down that bit and hopefully work really well. That engine's done 850 kilometers now, all is going well. Another 150 and we will do that first 1,000 kilometer service. We're only a couple of weeks off our big Central Australia trip, Simpson Desert, Alice Springs, down through the Flinders Ranges. So very excited for that. The car is fully ready now, I think. It should be good to go. And yeah, that's it, boy.
Oh, you want to get the camera out now once all the band is done, eh? Once I've been lighting up.
Yeah, once all the funnies are gone.
Yeah, that's what gets you the views, mate, the funnies.
Yeah, funnies.
Todd wasn't like this last time, was he? He was quiet,
Oh,
civilised.
I was.
This is what happens, mate.
The riff-raff makes the riff-raff.
He's got no idea what's going on.
He's got to do them 14s down low bar.